It's the 12th of December, 2021. I'm the commissioner of the TRSBA, Tim Wilshire, the relentless rebounder. I'm also the founder of the TRSBA. Here for another bit of a recap of the last 4 games of the season. So starting off with the Cleveland Jaguars, we seem to be struggling, but I thought I'd play my little soundbite on my team. Yeah, okay. Let's see if Cleveland probably doesn't love the commissioner anymore. We haven't won a championship in 20 years. We've only had 3 good seasons in the last 20. But all that aside, let's get on with what we're here to talk about today, and that is a bit of an update. So let's go back to round 21. And let's just have a look at these results. We had the Nerds beating the Lions. Nerds on a roll here. They've won 6 in a row against the Lions. It's a very good streak. Drummond, the Penguin, only got 19 fantasy points. Obviously, AD 40, Wiggins 16, DeRozan 33. So some mixed performances there. I do like the way Seth Curry's playing this year, guys. I think he's been very, very good. And Derrick Rose having some good games off the bench. And the Red Devils had Montrezl Harrell at center with 18 only. Miles Turner had one of those good games, 30 fantasy points. LeBron is having a great year, guys. Our friend LeBron James with 42 fantasy points in this one.
This is our little LeBron. LeBron. Yep. Oh, little fresh fella. Our little LeBron. Yeah, I was against him at first, but the missus here is a real soft spot for prima donnas. Will never be as good as Jordan.
Yeah, so Harden, unbelievable with 50 fantasy points. He's looking really, really good after a slow start to the season. We had Isaiah Stewart with his career high 30 in this game. Butchers and the Hounds. The Hounds with I don't know if you call it an upset win because the Butchers have been winning pretty much every game. At this stage, they had a 16-5 record. The Hounds had an 11-10 record, just above 500. So Clint Capella, what a big game for Clint. He, makes some.
I can see right through these haters, face tapes, pussy frowning in my watch like my wrist states.
And then we had DeJounte Murray, Dijon Mustard with 40 fantasy points. What a year for DeJounte Murray.
You got no mustard. It's on the door. What, this yellow stuff? No, I said mustard, Jerry. Dijon.
But they were overwhelmed with Laurie Markkinen with 35 fantasy points. That was pretty big for him. Westbrook, though, with a triple-double. Peter Russell, Westbrook.
The recipe you're free. Come and get it with Peter Russell.
So a good overall performance, and they look pretty good. And, you know, the Joe Rogan experience off the bench. Jeremiah
Rogan experience.
Yeah. On to the next game, the Preds versus the Cows. A very close one here. The Preds got the victory, but it was a close one. Look at this. 35 from Nurkic. Embiid with 33. So this was close, man. PG 27. Not as good lately. Beal 26. But when they're on, this team's a pretty good team. So they just get some performances off the bench. They're very dangerous. The Cows, though, this is just losing despite Randall getting 40 fantasy points, one of his better games of the season. Jaren Jackson Jr. has turned things around, 35 fantasy points, and D'Angelo Russell, 40. They're the 3 guys to watch for the Brown Cows this year. Jeremy Grant as well should be looked at occasionally. The Boars and the Pens are just a thumping game here for the Wild Boars across the Pens. It was this.
It's clobbering time. It's clobbering time.
And the Penguins lose 8 in a row. Giannis 38, Durant 41, Chris Paul 35, but this is just before he got traded. Don Mitchell 40, Ingram 30. So what a starting unit. And Hayward, when he's on, 28. They are very hard to stop. Penguins, nothing much to say there. Cade Cunningham looking like their best player for the rest of the season. On to the Snipers versus the Dubs. And the Snipers got their second win in a row here. Moved to 2-19 against the very shitful double-doubles. They've lost 8 in a row at this stage. It's very embarrassing for these guys. And it's very, very traumatic. And they lost to a team that started quickly at the power forward position. But this guy here, man, he's just unbelievable, Jared Allen. I mean, I keep having to play his music every week. And, also Anthony Edwards, 38. Burks is looking pretty good there off the bench with 37. The doubles really only got Scott Luca there, who didn't play that well in this one either. 7 turnovers for Luca. JV, 21. So the bench has really been letting him down. So, he's not really a starter-worthy player. On to the next game, the Flyers and the Tigers. Another close one here, 2 lowly teams in the West. And just a very sneaky win here by the Flyers with Joker, 36 fantasy points. Just a consistent performance. They're starting Dort at the moment. Middleton at the power forward position, Brogdon, Dinwiddie. So it's a very rough lineup with Jokic at the center. And the Tigers, Wendell Carter. I love the way this guy's been playing this year, man. Wendell Carter, 33 fantasy points. Sabonis, 39. Scotty Barnes, definitely the top 2 rookies at the moment. Could get Rookie of the Year. Halliburton had a bad one here. Could have been the difference. Fox, 20. Smart, 31. So on to the next game. Saints got some revenge against the Jaguars, and they'd won 5 in a row here. All these different injuries. They came up with a lineup of Ayton, Mobley, Baisley, SGA, and Young. 41 fantasy points for Trey Young. Yeah, they did it with 8 players and with a Kevin Porter Jr. that's not the same guy. So they did it. Rudy Gobert looked very good for the Jags, 42 fantasy points, but nothing else really there to talk about. McCollum, 27, and Aaron Gordon, 27. It seems to be stepping up. Would have been good to have Tate's 53 fantasy point game, but missed the cutoff, which is very unfortunate. Don't know, may have made the difference in the game as well. Barbarians beat the Hurricanes, and nothing really to see here. They'd won 12 in a row. They'd won 28 in a row against the Hurricanes. That's one crazy stat that you never see. Pascal Siakam goes past 5,000 fantasy points. Pascal Siakam.
Our favourite, because they're the perfect balance of creamy caramel and delicious chocolate.
Delicious chocolate eclairs, just part of our huge Pascal range. What's your favourite Pascal?
Yeah, so they didn't need to do that well. Some good bench performance there. Van Vliet, Maxi, Levert, all looking fantastic. Hurricanes, LaMelo Ball, 26, and Clarkson with 31 fantasy points. Now on to round 22. Lions versus the Hounds. A low-scoring win there for the Lions. It was AD again, 40 fantasy points. Wiggins, 24. DeRozan, 40. He's just been absolutely unbelievable. Has
Yes, it's in my
he's been marvelous. Unbelievable. It's crazy to think about that one. So very good work. The Wolfhounds struggled here, even though Vucevic got 49. Kelly Oubre with 32. 38 for Westbrook. So 3 superstar performances, and the rest fell in a heap of shit. No Josh Giddey in that game. So on to the next one. The Nerds edged out the Cows. Nerds were 16-6 at this stage, and the Cows were 8-14. Harrell again, 33. LeBron, 48. LeBron's been huge, absolutely huge. Harden, 32. Jeremy Grant, a career high 45 fantasy points. That's a big game, but they still got beat. Jared Jackson and Jet Randall all playing huge. Holmesy's had a few huge games as well lately, but we'll see. So that's the Cows and the Red Devils, the Butchers and the Barbarians. And this was I guess this was a very big matchup. It's one of these ones. The irresistible force.
The champion against the challenger. The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
Yeah, and the Butchers upset the Barbarians and ended their win streak. So well done to them. Home court's always helpful. Towns with 44. Yeah, he's having a good year, Towns. I think he's not getting touch wood. He stays healthy.
I'm a scat man.
Christian Wood 40 is starting to turn things around again. Murray 35, Capella 22, Gordon 27, Siakam 33, Tatum 43. Some big performances here. But Curry not as, just for a little cold stretch. Van Vliet had to start. Lillard was out injured, and that was enough. Green at centre. Move Bam out for a while. This becomes problematic for the Barbarians, you would think. The Boars, the Jaguars with a few tough matchups lately. We ran into the Boars, and we're probably never usually going to beat them. Carmelo played his 900th game. McCollum played well, but again, there's not a lot of support here, and some bad games from Portis and Kuzma. Hopefully some better games coming up. Pirtle's been a good surprise off the bench. So, yep. The Wild Boars, 56 from Giannis. This guy is an absolute freak of nature. Giannis. Yeah, KD, 41 fantasy points. He looking very good too. Ingram, 15, not so good. Mitchell, 39. Chris Paul was still there at 24. So moving on. We had the Tigers and the Hurricanes. Just a very slight victory for the Tigers. Tigers' record indicates that they are actually a good team, but they're not. 13 wins and 9 losses. Just getting a lot of easy games, I think. I'd like to see the average of their players, team. We'll have a look at the ladder a bit later too. Barnes is obviously good. He's going well as Mo Bamba. The Hurricanes, good performance there from Tim Hardaway and also from LaMelo Ball. On to the next game, we had the Flyers and the Snipers. A nice win here from the Flyers. They had 11 in a row now against the Snipers. Had to reinforce it. It's there twice. The Joker, again, 44 fantasy points for Nikola Jokic. He's one of the top players in the league at the moment. Trying to get that sound right, not always easy. Head quickly, power forward. Again, that seems to fail. So, yep. And then on to the next game, which was the Pens versus the Saints. The Saints with another win. They won at this stage. The Penguins had lost 9 in a row, and the Saints had won 6. And we got to see Alperun Şengün, 21 fantasy points from the Delicate Dancer in his career high. The Penguins really missing, some great play at the moment. They'll wait till Cade Cunningham turns things around. Hurt has been good. The Saints, obviously a makeshift team at the moment with Batatse and Grant Williams. A lot of injuries. They're out for this game. They had Morant out, SGA out, OG Anunoby out, Zion Williamson's out, Porter, DiVincenzo. You should just waive DiVincenzo. He's not worth keeping. So that's what the Saints, and they still won. So very well done to them. 15-7 record, which is surprising, but very, very good. Double doubles. They got the win over the Predators. They finally had a half decent game, I'll call it. Some really good bench performances. Connolly and Love and Melton and Kennard. All four guys firing off the bench, whereas Rudy Gay, I don't know why he was starting, but maybe they didn't have any other options. Beal, Caruso, Levine. So it's just a makeshift Predator team that is missing Paul George in this one. A big loss. Oladipo has been out a while. Tice has been out. And we'll see that Kira Lewis is out for the season soon as well. On to round 23. And the Lions and the Butchers, a close win here. The Butchers get the job done. Another good game for AED. And I think, to me, I think AED's having a good year. I think a lot of people are saying how badly he's playing, but the stats are telling a different story. Stats are saying that he's one of the best.
Thank you to my boy AD.
That growl will haunt my dreams.
Space Jam.
Yeah, and DeRozan here, 43 fantasy points. The Butchers, though, able to get it done with, look like Cole Anthony, 38 fantasy points. This was him after the game. He was just amazing.
Shout out to Down. Shout out to Mopamba. Shout out to my whole team, man. You know we had to go get that dub, man. Shout out to the Magic, man. Let's go.
How about you, Cole? You took over in that fourth quarter. You're very comfortable with the basketball, made some big shots. How were you able to get it going in the fourth?
Man, look, bro, just big shout out to my team, man. It's not bad.
There we go. So he's a superstar at the moment, and he's only in his second year in the league. DeJounte Murray with 30 fantasy points and Christian Wood with 30, and they sort of got the win without Karl Anthony Towns. So they were able to beat the Lions without Towns by just 2. On to the Cows versus the Hounds. The Hounds with a lowly game. Moved to 11 and 12, and the Cows got one back with Randall and Jeremy Grant, etc. Holmes again played well. Vucevic 36 for the Wolfhounds. Kelly Oubre did pass 5,000 career fantasy points, so I'll play some music for Kelly. He looks like a girl with that blonde hair. Yeah, okay. So then we had the Jaguars and the Barbarians, and poor old the Jaguars, no match for the defending champions or the 7-time champions, whatever they are. They won fucking 22 wins in a row against us. That's fucking hard to swallow. Really hard to swallow, especially when you play like 3 times a year. So it might be about an 8 or 9 year win streak. So that's bad. It might be only twice a year do we play. I'd have to check, but it's a long streak. Bobby Portis is stepping up just a little bit. Gobert is very consistently good. Pirtle is very consistently good. Usually that would be an okay score, but when you're playing the Barbarians, who have got Horford playing well, 37, Curry just above his average. You got Van Vliet, didn't have Lillard, but Tatum was huge, 49. Lowry playing above his head, obviously 34, etc. So they obviously look really, really tough to beat when they're on this sort of roll as well. So that's the Barbarians. The Boars and the Nerds. The Boars with a crushing defeat on Dan. Monty Morris scored a career high 30 fantasy points, and he was the 9th man in the rotation. The Wild Boars win with Steven Adams at centre. Giannis decided to sit out a game. Durant 43, needed a bit of rest, I think. Ingram 37, Mitchell 38, Paul 20. For the Red Devils, not the sort of performance that they were hoping for, but Porzingis played well, 34. There was no LeBron, but Harden had 36, and Schroeder had 30. And then we had the Hurricanes and the Snipers. The Snipers lose again to the Hurricanes. That's 5 in a row that the Hurricanes have now over the Snipers. LaMarcus Aldridge paid his 800th game. Just a lowly sort of win here, but this guy is one of the reasons that the Hurricanes are doing so well. Lonzo Ball was playing. Yeah. No, LaMelo Ball, sorry. The huge game for LaMelo Ball. So, yep. And then another Jared Allen game. We already played his music, 43 fantasy points. Garland. We haven't played his music for a while, but I don't know. See. So, very good stuff there. On to the next game. We had the Flyers versus the Dubs. A very great win here from the Flyers, just by 2. A high-scoring game, and it left the Doubles 6 and 17. And I just hope they've kept their draft pick, but we'll have a look. Joker 43, Middleton 30, 37 for Brogo, Rozier 37s for Scary Terry. A huge 58 fantasy point game for Jonas Valanciunas, but even though he got 13, 9, and 15, somehow lost. It's crazy. 42 for Luca, chunky. J.Rue Holiday, I think 36 fantasy points. He's looking a lot better. Better play a bit of this, bit of Kung.
Everybody was
lightning. Anyway, on to the next game. Saints versus Tigers. Some really close games here, man. Look at that. Tigers by 2. I mean, the Saints, they had a better looking outfit here. They had SGA was back at the small forward position and 45 fantasy points for SGA. The Seager boy. 36 for Trey Young, having a fantastic year, and Tyus Jones with 30. What a signing off the free agent list for Dennis. Wendell Carter, 25. Sabonis, and a huge game at triple-double, 48. Barnes, he's playing well, 28 for Scotty Barnes. Lonzo Ball with 20. Fox with 35. Halliburton, 24 with a double-double. Some good performances, but and that was enough to get them over the line on the road. Big win. Okay, and then Pens versus Predators. And let's have a look at some of this stuff here. The Penguins have lost 10 in a row. Desmond Baines scores 39 points, fantasy points. Cade Cunningham scores 40. And Jared Beyondis scores 29. So they're the 3 big guys, but they've still got their asses handed to them by the Predators. So Cade Cunningham, he's I call this guy the Transformer. He just looks like a Transformer, I think, as well. Okay, we had Paul George was back, 35, Embiid 44, Levine 38. So some big performances by the big guns on that team. Joel Embiid. Round 24. So this is the round that just got processed. Lions beat the Barbarians. Wow, that's a big win for the Lions. That's huge. A huge win. If we get there. Okay, so Thanasis scored 14 fantasy points. He managed to make his way into the rotation. What a win here for Dale. I mean, this is great. Fantastic win. I know there's some players out, but it's good to get a win nonetheless. AD 41. Jesus, so consistent. DeRozan consistent, 36. Wiggins had a big one, 34. Crowder, 25. Rubio, 22. So it was enough. I mean, they really struggled here, did the Barbs. Look at this. They had to have Draymond at center. Siakam played well with 31, 6, and 3. Tatum played well. Curry played well. So 3 of their guys played well, but then the rest of them, the bench shit the bed in a bad way, except for Geordie Poole. But they usually play a lot better than that. So, and obviously with all the injuries, I guess they had so many guys out. Lillard out, Horford out, Bam out, Maxey out, Simon's out. And I think there might be Bogdanovic is out as well. So, yeah, crazy. All the people out, and that leads to the victory. The Butchers beat the Cows 222 to 168. Yeah, what the fuck happened here? No guards. You'd put, couldn't you put Roland Barrett in there at the guard position? Not sure what happened there. I don't think it makes a difference. I think they were always going to lose. They had to show you their lack of guards if they can't get a starting guard in there. Russell out, Walker out. There's only 2 guards on the Brown Cows team that are guard eligible. So that's they need another one, obviously, to avoid this sort of bullshit. So anyway, Butchers, very good again. Carl Anthony Towns, 54, 33 for Christian Wood. Bridges, 30. He's played well. Cole Anthony, 30. Capella off the bench. Gordon, Bay. So yeah, the Butchers seeming to put it together for the time being. They're sitting on, hoping and praying that Kelly Olynyk comes back, but they've got Jamal Murray and Simmons not playing as well, and Butler's out. So lots of injuries that the Butchers are enduring with, and they're still probably the best team in the East at the present time. The Nerds. Let's see if I can get a decent clip on this one here. Red Devils, Dynamite. Okay, they ended up beating the Jaguars. The Jaguars now lost 5 in a row. Harden had passed, obviously, Dwayne Wade for 13th in all-time fantasy points scored. Well done for Jim Harden. He's good to see him 13th on the all-time list.
It's a big, shiny, fancy fucking four-wheel drive, but he doesn't know how to change a tyre. Harden the fuck up, Anthony.
And a big game from the ex-Jaguar, Dennis Schroeder, 40. Dennis the Menace there. Portis is looking really good, guys. He's 19 and 16, 40 fantasy points here. McCollum, 30 fantasy points. He'll be out for a while, we think. Zubac, Washington. I mean, we're always going to lose this game by the looks. Reggie Jackson, not a great one. More turnovers there than every other stat combined. Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle here at the moment. I'm just trying to find the guys who can actually come in and play. Yeah, it's just rough at the moment. I think we'll get Graham back in the lineup, but yeah, it's definitely a lot of struggling going on at the moment. Boars with just an absolute walloping, absolutely destroyed the Hounds. They really got them in the end.
It's clobbering time. It's clobbering.
Yeah, so Adams is playing a little bit better lately, but Wild Boars, 5 wins in a row, 40 for Mitchell, 39 for the newly acquired LeBron James. Barton, yeah, Bembry, all those guys there, Vucevic, Markkanen, Harris. So, yeah, the Wolfhounds had no answer for the Wild Boars. It was definitely clobbering time there. Then we had the Snipers and the Saints, a close one here. The Snipers get their 3rd win of the year over a struggling Saints team. Let's have a look at that one in a bit more detail here. And the internet always likes to go slow at weird times. Finney Smith, that was his debut. What the fuck? Really? First game in TRSBA history. That is some wild shit because he's been around the league for years. Wow. Jared Allen, 31 fantasy points. He's doing really well, guys. Garland, 41. Caldwell Pope, a few good games lately, 29. Quickly, 24. Saints, Aiton, Mobley, SGA, Hero. Young is playing well, guys, 39. But again, just an 8-man rotation, struggling. And yeah, it's annoying. They've got all these guys out like OG, Zion's out, Porter's out. It's pretty crazy shit. And where will they end up? I don't know. Then we've got, who's next? Next game after that, Tigers versus the Pens. Tigers keep winning, Pens keep losing. Come on. Come on. Here we go. So Tigers 207, 168, 15-9 record for the Tigers. Sabonis, a good game. Fox 31, Mo Bamba 27, Halliburton. Penguins 168. They've lost 11 in a row. Have a look at their record shortly. I think they're second on the bottom. Robert Williams, yeah, not great. He's a pretty rough year lately. Pretty rough for Robert Williams. Vanderbilt, Brunson, Herter. So he's really struggling, Penguins. Okay, on to the Hurricanes versus the Dubs. And they win here by the Hurricanes, 10-14. Wow. What did I see? 10-14? That's absolutely crazy. That's mad, actually. But at the end of the day, Mark Hand will be pretty happy with that. You know, LaMelo Ball, 47. They're doing it without Wiseman. I think he's down the list somebody where, right down the bottom. An 8-man team beat the double-doubles. That's pretty some crazy shit. Derek White playing well. Patty Mills playing well. Gallinari, you know, after him and Aldridge, so some old man up front. That's crazy shit. But LaMelo Ball he's been the talking story for them. The double-double was struggling here. I mean, Collins is having a really good year. You know, I think he's definitely improved quite a lot, actually, to be completely fair. You know, he's a superstar. But, you know, just really struggling with these guys at the moment. Luka does what Luka does, but it's a rough, man. It is rough. The last game to talk about, the Flyers beating the Predators, a huge score from the Flyers. Let's have a look at this. Both teams scored well. The Joker, 56 fantasy points for him. Lou Dort, Brogdon, 45 for Brogdon. He's having a fairly good year.
Coaches may not like you because you're a smart-ass black man, but it might help if you stopped eating all them fries you eat, making you look 6 months pregnant.
Predators, 63 from Embiid. That's massive. 28 from Paul George, 46 from Levine. Some big performances. Pat Connaughton, 28. Nurkic, 25. Bradley Beal has been bad with just 22 points, fantasy points in that one. Yeah, so a bit rough there. Let's have a look at these standings again. So let's do a bit of a deep dive into the standings and see what actually is happening. If we have a look there, the Butchers are on top, the Wild Boars are second, the Red Devils are third, and they're quite clear third at the moment. So if you look at the Red Devils, they could end up that pick is flying up there. It looks like at the moment that pick that belongs to the Jaguars would be the 13th pick in the draft. So that's not a great pick, to be honest. Yeah, that's a bit rough. The Lions, 13-11. Wolfhounds are really struggling. The Brown Cows are struggling as well, 9-15. Predators. So it's tough. It's a bit of a battle there at the moment. The Lions doing the better of those four teams. Barbarians have a fairly clear lead. 2 losses lately, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. You know, they're getting the job done. The Saints, good at home, not so good on the road. That's how it should be in the NBA. 15-9, same record as the Tigers. Their percentage is about 15 better, but that'll change soon the way with the Saints injuries. Flyers, a 500 ball club. And yeah, they've had some, they're starting to step up a little bit, so don't be surprised. Hurricanes, yeah, double-doubles. This is the team that's really struggled, man. They were really, with Irving, they've really been hit hard. They've been driven hard and put away wet. Just really struggling there at the moment. Anyway, I think that's about all we're going to cover there today. The Snipers are 3 wins. They're catching up to the Penguins. The double-doubles will miss the playoffs at the moment. We need to make mention that 6 teams that miss out this year on the playoffs. So change in format all voted in. So just remember that. And I'll get thank you very much for your attention. Any suggestions, just drop us a bell. Thank you. We'll upload this.